So this movie, called Amsterdam, who has an interesting cast of John David Washington, Robert De Niro and Christian Bale, is not a good movie, guys. You quickly realized only minutes into it that almost the only exciting thing about this, it is just the cast. The one other exciting thing is the role played by Robert De Niro as General Dillenbeck. He holds a very impressive and real speech, but his role in the movie is heavily downplayed, as he does not act a lot in the movie. For most of the time, this movie is highly boring, and it is not only slow in the beginning, it is also a drag movie that bores you right down to the teeth. The problem is not so much the characters, it is the way the story is told, which is done in a very boring fashion. If you thought the voiceover thing was highly exaggerated in the movie Casino, which was also one De Niro played in, by the way, back in the day, the voiceover is annoyingly used 5 times as much in this movie. Instead of just acting the moment, they just use voiceover to do it instead, to the point it becomes ridiculous. The movie is also supposed to hold you excited when it lasts 2 hours, but that doesn't seem to be the ambition of the movie. Of course, you might like this one if you are into a super slow build-up movie, where they don't reveal the actual meaning of the movie until, let's just say, 40 minutes before it ends, because then you know all about the Fifth Committee and their true intentions. When you otherwise, for the beginning part of the movie, kept a secret, and you had to read between the lines to get it. And certainly it did not hold me on the line. And when the big reveal came, of course, it was a little more exciting. But by that time, I was so bored after watching the extremely slow opening minutes that this moment didn't feel as surprising as it may have felt for some of you. Of course, you have also seen detective crime-style movies like Death on the Nile earlier this year and the Sherlock Holmes movies, where they managed to make it more exciting and hold you on the line. In this case, it is quite the opposite. There's far from enough excitement to make you stay there for the big reveal. Of course, the De Niro character is interesting, but based on his acting time, that is not enough, and I also personally feel that if he had been given a larger role, this movie could have been more exciting, because he is the only actor that shines a light on such a bleak, boring movie. With this movie I also went out of my comfort zone, but even a movie like The Outfit, which looks a little like this movie, is not as boring as this one. So my argument would be that it can be done right, but the ambition of this movie seems to be to bore you to death before giving you a big reveal, and then they expect you to be excited when it happens. I mean, the story itself on the surface doesn't really feel fresh either. Sure, it is based on true events, but they could have dramatized it a lot more to make it entertaining. Even a movie like The Greatest B-Run Ever, which was not a great movie by the way, but at least they managed to make it exciting in smaller parts. You have seen so many stories about war and people working in secret together that it doesn't feel that unique. In the end, I would say that I can only give this a 3 out of 10, and it's easily one of the most boring movies ever made. And I think I would rather watch Slumdog Millionaire twice than watching this movie if I could choose one more time, although that was not a great movie either.